I only care about one thing. Will we be number one in crypto? Crypto has turned out, and in that sense, I've been right. Crypto's turned out to be a massive industry, if you want to call it that. And I'm very proud to say that we are far and away ahead of China and everybody else. Now, China's getting into it very big right now.
So you just heard that Donald Trump is saying out that US be the number one in crypto, and they certainly are doing a good job. At the same time, China allegedly looking to get into the markets soon as well. So why is the price down? Why, yet again, did we see over $1 billion of liquidations in the crypto market? With the S&P hitting new all-time highs, gold even recovering, it's not fair. Let's break down what's going on. Let's try and understand all of the macro factors that are pushing the price of Bitcoin down, and more importantly, what should we be doing? Is this the time to sell, or is there more fuel in the fire? As always, all I ever ask, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into it. Well, yet again, we see a massive capitulation in the market. The market price tanking on Bitcoin and over $1 billion in liquidations yet again coming into the market. Bitcoin itself wicking down to nearly $105,800. But this isn't the worst one. Remember, the worst ever liquidation back in the 10th of October. That Friday, we all remember, with the US tariff and China. However, this does actually still get into the top 10. So what actually is going on, and why did the market aggressively push down so much? Well, there are rumors circulating right now that allegedly there is a court case coming, a legal battle, if you will, between Wintermute and Binance. Now, what is alleged here is that Wintermute lost millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars on that Bitcoin liquidation thanks to Binance's platform of simply not deleveraging, at the same time their APIs failing and everything else. The markets absolutely did not like this uncertainty between the two. And the fact we already know that Binance has been dumping this market now over the course of the last 6 months pretty aggressively. Now, this is yet to be proven if true, but certainly would cause a bit of a ruckus. The biggest exchange in the world, head to head with the biggest liquidity provider, could certainly create a significant amount of volatility, trying to understand where all of this cryptocurrency could go. But there's actually a little bit deeper than that. It's actually more important to think about some of the other things that we're seeing going on. And it's something I've been talking about here on the channel for a while, the repo debt problem, the liquidity squeeze when it comes to the banks. And I want to just dive in a little bit as to what this looks like, but then more importantly, how this plays out into what they call the TGA, the Treasury General Allowance. And I think this is important as we walk through because it kind of understands the two things going together. So let's talk about repo debt, and let's try and understand exactly how this plays into the overall US cash balance, or the TGA. So we know that repo debt over the course of the last few weeks, we've actually seen banks dip into it. Yet again, a record $50 billion was used on October 31st. We actually saw another $22 billion flow out of there yesterday. And this is short-term loans that the banks take to support liquidity requirements through their customers over the next 24 hours. Now, this isn't unusual. We generally see this, albeit not to the extremes that we've seen. But the question is, why? Why all of a sudden is this repo debt thing a problem? Or is it not a problem and actually this may play out? Well, for that, we need to look at the TGA, basically the Treasury General Account. It's where all your tax money goes. And the basic premise is this is the bank account that government spends from, tax revenue goes in, and more. Well, what's happening right now? We know the government shutdown continuing. This has now rocketed to $661 billion and is continuing to climb. This is money that should be in the banks, that should be in everyday individuals' bank accounts, that are simply not being paid. 670,000 US government officials are not being paid right now. This is liquidity that should be in banks that banks can use. If you don't understand why, fractionalized banking will support you in understanding. So the question then is, what is going to happen? Well, this liquidity is going to have to come out at some point. And once the government reopens, which we now believe is going to be around December 1st, you are going to get at least an injection of probably somewhere in the region of $750 billion heading to none other than the bank accounts, which takes away the repo debt crisis. The question is, can we survive long enough to get the government back open so that the repo debt doesn't end up with a mad run on the banks? These are the two things right now we are keeping very close eye here on the channel, because I think these are going to tell us exactly what's going on. If we get a squeeze on liquidity, this is something to be mindful of. At the same time, if the if the TGA continues to go up, this will be money that eventually is going to make its way back into the markets. Think about what it looked like in 2021. Think about what the dip looked like in 2023 prior to the market then moving. And equally, at the early part of this year, it all starts to play out perfectly. Now, don't forget, if you want to play the game perfectly as well, check out my BitUnix partnership. We're offering 30% rebate on your trades, as well as a bonus for trading volume as well. No KYC, available all over the world. Think of this. Trade 50,000 USDT, you're going to get yourself $10 for free. Deposit $100, you're going to get $30 again for a futures bonus as well. So it's absolutely a great platform. They're listing all the favorite cryptocurrencies, up to 100x leverage on all your favorite coins as well. Do be mindful. Again, trading is risky, so only do it if you know what you're doing, but definitely check out BitUnix. The link is in the description. So what else do we need to look at in the market? Everyone's telling you that the crypto bull market's over. We're all going to zero. And my view right now, by the way, is we should trade with caution. We should absolutely be mindful of the macro sentiment while at the same time understanding the structure of this market. If you just believe everyone on crypto Twitter right now, you'd have sold weeks ago. So what have we got? Well, the 50-week moving average is still intact. You can see here in the chart, we have retested this range 3 separate times, going back all the way to 2023. Fact is, we have not broken below. Even though we wicked below 3 times, we still haven't closed the candles on this mark. If this is the true bull and bear line, the reality is, from a technical standpoint, the bull market is still intact. For how long that's going to be, we will have to wait and see. If we continue to see selling on ETFs like we saw over the last 24 hours, 1,300 coming out of iShares as well as 100 out of Fidelity, then certainly we could start to potentially retest on even push down. But one point to note here, stablecoin reserves are booming on exchanges. Take a look at this. Binance stablecoin reserves is highest it's been since 2024. And what happened then? It broke $69,000 for an all-time high push to 108. $7.3 billion is currently what is sat on Binance in stablecoins. If that doesn't tell you that they're waiting to buy the dip, I don't know what does. So in the overall arching review of where we are in the market, again, lots of technicals and lots of macro data tell us that the best of the market is down the road, and actually that the structure within the price of Bitcoin is still relatively solid. However, you have to at some point change the way you play the market. Blindly holding your coins is silly in this game when profits is the name of the game. Trade with caution, look at the macro, stay tuned into the channel as we break down the markets every day, and make the decision that is right for you. Taking some chips off the table might not be the worst decision. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think of the repo debt? And more importantly, that TGA. Do we see $750 billion heading to the markets pretty soon? Let's hope so. Let's hope this government gets back open and we can all continue to see the price of Bitcoin go to brand new all-time highs. As always, thanks for watching this video. I'm going to catch you guys in the next one. Take care.